Back when I was a little glue sniffer, I was greedy ass kid. I wanted everything to myself. Whenever I got home from school and sports, my mom would make us the most delicious looking dinner. And I, as the youngest and dumbest, even though I was the smallest, I would always try to get the biggest steak and the most amount of food out of everyone else sitting on that table. Of course, my biggest brother would beat the living daylights out of me whenever I did it, but I don't blame him. I was an extremely punchable little brat. I knew that I couldn't eat everything, but I still tried to get more food than everyone else, solely so that I could flex on them that I had more. One day my brother didn't beat me up for some reason. On that day, he just decided that he would let the game play out to see what would happen if I got the biggest plate. And this was a monumental quantity of food. Imagine a regular sized plate. Now imagine that it's filled to the brim with a huge mountain of rice and two giant pieces of cow's beef. My prepubescent ass could barely lift up the plate, let alone I could fit all of that in my stomach. But my brother didn't stop me. For some reason, he didn't beat some sense into me like he usually did. Oh boy, how I wished he had done that on that cursed day. Anyway, my father is this huge man. He's even bigger to the toddler that I was. He used to fight bears when he was my age. Some say that he was born with so much body hair that he looked like one. This man was practically raised by wolves. And what scared me the most was the fact that he was like this really, really quiet man. He would rarely talk. You'd hear him ripping ass in the bathroom more times than you'd hear him talk. Sometimes when we were goofing around in the house, he would look at us with his eyes really wide open. He didn't talk, no, he just looked. And this man was so imposing and scary that his gaze alone was enough to make us stop, apologize, go clean the house, do the dishes, brush the teeth, and go to bed. I mean, you could be looking the other way and still you'd know whenever he was looking at you. Almost as if his gaze looked into our thoughts, sending shivers down our spines. So on that day that my brother didn't beat me up, I got to try and eat everything that I had in my plate for the first time. Needless to say, that was too big of a task for little me, and I just couldn't. My greed had gotten the best out of me, and no one stopped me. So I got to experience firsthand the ire of my non-verbal father. Everyone finished eating, and I was still the only one with food left in my plate. And I put so much food in the plate that the food I had left looked like I didn't even touch it. So people started getting up, like they usually do. First my mother to do the dishes, then my brother to go to our room and like play whatever game he played at the time. So now it was only the giant of a dad that I had and me. So I start yapping about how much I put in the plate and how stuffed I was, and that I never do that again. That wasn't enough. That would never slide with the beast of a father that I had. He just looked at me and didn't say a single word. And it was one of those wide open eye looks that stare into your soul. So I knew that I was in trouble. Eventually, I got the courage to get up. Big mistake. You know when you're playing Shadow of the Colossus and you see the Titans cutscenes? Yep, that was how I saw my father getting up from his chair, moving towards me and sitting me back down. He sat next to me and he just said, "Eat." He talked so little that the only thing he said to me that entire year was, "Eat." Anyway, I couldn't eat. I was stuffed to the brim. Rice was pouring through my nose. I was already 3 pounds heavier from that meal alone, and this man wanted me to eat? I couldn't eat anything even if I wanted to. But he didn't even blink. He just stared. And I went through all 5 stages of grief in the span of 5 minutes. "No, Papa, I can't eat all of that. It's impossible." A while later, I got super furious at him and started arguing. "That's dumb. Did you see what I ate already? Are you blind?" But this just made him look even further into my soul. I was shivering at that point. "Please, I'll just eat a fourth of what's left in the plate. Half? Please, something." And it was like I was trying to push an immovable object, a 1,000-ton stone. At one point, I was just pissing and crying uncontrollably to the point that I started to lose some of the weight that I had previously gained during the unforsaken dinner. Eventually, I slowly started eating again. No bargaining would make me leave that table. The only way out was to finish what I had left in the plate. At one point, I was so full that I started vomiting because I could simply not hold it any longer. It was way too much food. So there was vomit everywhere. On the table, on the remaining food, on my father. But he just looked like an all-seeing god. He didn't even flinch, almost as if he had predicted everything that had happened. No, he actually moved. He picked up a spoon and very slowly started putting my vomit back onto the plate. You all know what transpired next. I couldn't fight. I was too weak. There was only one way out. After some time, the sound of me crying, puking more, and bargaining with my immovable object of a father, my mom came into the kitchen to step in. And you know how mothers are. Mothers are always the ultimate rulers of the house. It's like a small chihuahua barking at a pit bull. The pit bull is infinitely stronger, yet the small dog that would lose a 1v1 fight against a rat is the one that actually rules. Anyway, my mother just started yapping like she always does. Oh, the poor baby! Leave him alone! He's learned his lesson! You're so mean to your children! And stuff like that mothers usually say. So he left straight to the bathroom to go rip some ass on the toilet bowl, only to leave the entire house smelling of death. All of this to say that I learned my lesson. After that day, I never bit off more than I could chew. I stopped being greedy. No one ever since that day has seen me leaving food on the plate. And that goes for other stuff, not only food. It was a hard-learned lesson engraved into my mind. Never be greedy. Be thankful for what you've got and don't bite off more than you can chew. And with all of this yapping about greed, it reminds me of this YouTuber group called Watcher. It's no ordinary 300 subscriber regular Joe Schmo. It's a 3 million subscriber channel made of people who used to work for BuzzFeed. Every week they make a video that averages out to 1 million views and an average 13 million channel views per month. They also have a Patreon where most devout members get the access to special behind the scenes Nickelodeon style content. They run multiple podcasts. They also have a lot of advertisers for each of their videos, so you know that they're making those sweet V-bucks. With all of the green they are making, you'd think they'd be happy and thought it was enough. Well, no. Apparently their content is too good for YouTube and for their Patreon supporters. It's a platform for children and stupid commentary channels. Their content is way beyond YouTube. So they decide to make a YouTube neck rope video to spit on the face of their subscribers and announce that they will be switching their content to their brand new streaming platform. So fuck you if you can't afford 50 different streaming platforms. You're too broke for our super well-curated television-worthy content anyway. Take a look.
Watcher is an ad-free, independent streaming service dedicated to providing you guys the television caliber content that you know and love. But you're probably wondering, how is it going to be different than the YouTube experience?
The new streamer, I think, is a place that reflects what our content is. High quality series in season form, beautifully organized, ad-free. It's what we were destined to be.
First of all, bigger and better content. This is our final goodbye to YouTube.
Your viewership has allowed us to do all these wonderful things that we've done these past 4 years, and we hope that you'll come along for the ride.
This is a 15-minute yapping session, so I cut out the most important part for you guys. When I was that kid sitting on that table with my dad, I gave so many excuses on why I put so much food on my plate, and at the end of the day, they were just excuses. The excuses they give are basically as follows. They say that they don't want to rely on advertisers. They want to create higher production content. They hired more staff, so they need more money. The ceiling for what YouTube has to offer money-wise, and they want to make content that they like without having to please the advertisers. So they ramble on and on and on through the logistics of how much it costs for just one episode, aka money that they need to spend, failing to realize that we, the audience, are basically my dad, quietly listening, waiting for the barrage of excuses to end. At the end of the day, we as an audience want to see entertaining content. We don't care if it's a $10 million production video or just a guy speaking in front of a camera. It provides the same amount of entertainment value. I watch most critical videos the same way I watch your ultra high production quality video. And it was your choice to do so. The audience doesn't mind sacrificing a little bit of that quality as long as you, as a trio, can provide entertainment. And most people don't give a rat's ass about an ad in the middle of the video. We all know how much money you guys are making through Patreon. We all know how much money you make with ads, and we all know how broken is the podcast game and how much money it generates. So your goodbye video is just a way for you to throw sand in your loyal watchers' eyes and a pretentious advertisement for your brand's new shitty streaming platform. You are firing us as an audience. All I hear from your video is, "Hello guys, thank you for watching our videos and making us millionaires. Now that we have money and no longer need your time and donations, we are creating a new platform where you can pay to continue watching our content. Thank you for being our beta testers. Now pay up! Here, look at this new shiny toy. Is it cool?" Now, at the end of the day, as a viewer, I don't care about the business decisions that led you to this point. They were your business decisions. You chose to hire more staff, like you also chose to make higher quality content. I don't care about your excuses. You are being greedy and leaving all of your loyal fans with a sour taste in their mouths. All of your 13,000 Patreon supporters and your 3 million subscribers betrayed, fired. No longer needed because your aspirations were too high and you couldn't handle what you had in your plate after you yourselves filled it up. Good luck to all of the 25 staff members at Watcher. If I were you, I'd start updating my portfolio and sending out resumes because the way that things are going, it doesn't look like there's much adhesion to this business decision made by the heads at Watcher. And now I ask you, my loyal Watcher, the question. After this lobotomite business decision backfires and starts sinking and losing money into the company, who do you think is going to be fired first? The people in charge of this decision, or the employees who do visual effects, editing, audio, and other things that they categorize as higher production value? If you don't know, I'll give you a hint. The production value is going to slowly go down. And you can see all of the comments in the video of people dunking on this out-of-pocket business decision. Watcher just downsized their audience by 99%. No one is irreplaceable on YouTube. There will come someone after you to capitalize on your mistake and make sure that they don't make the same. Your content is not special. You made good content, don't get me wrong, but it was just content. You thought that you were too good for the platform and left without realizing that no one cared about your excuses for leaving and hoping that your audience would follow you as a mindless herd of sheep. Now, bye-bye. Don't let the door eat you on the ass on your way out. You won't be missed. And I don't think that you can easily recover as a brand after the self-inflicted damage you've caused. You chose to fill your plate to the brim. Now deal with it. Father, please. I didn't mean to fill my plate to the brim. Papa, I promise I won't do it again. There is no way in God's green earth that I can eat everything in here. Eat.